Hey guys, if you are watching this to get help for your homework, then you have come to the right place. I am going to go through each problem on your Lesson 6 Quadratic Word Problems worksheet with you. The first problem was y squared minus 3y minus 137 equals negative 7. Because we have two terms for y squared and y to the first power, we're going to need to solve this factoring. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Y squared minus 3y minus 130 equals 0. From there, we need to factor. What two numbers multiply to be negative 130 that add up to negative 3? So 1 and negative 130. And then I'm grabbing my calculator and I'm dividing by 2, 2 and negative 65. And then I'm grabbing my calculator and dividing by 3. Doesn't work. 130 divided by 4 doesn't work. 130 divided by 5 is 26. So it'll be negative 26. 130 divided by 7 doesn't work. 130 divided by 8 doesn't work. 130 divided by 9 doesn't work. 130 divided by 10 is 13. 10 and negative 13, and there's our pair that we want. That adds up to negative 3. So y plus 10 times y minus 13 equals 0, which means y is negative 10 and y is positive 13. So there's your solution to the first one. Your next problem. 2 times r plus 3 squared minus 3 equals 47. Since this is r only to the second power, it's only in one term, we can solve this using inverse operations. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. 2 times r plus 3 squared equals 50. Divide by 2. R plus 3 squared equals 25. Take the square root. R plus 3 equals plus or minus 5. Almost done. We need to now set up the two equations and solve each of them individually. R plus 3 equals 5 and R plus 3 equals negative 5. Those are our two options. So I can subtract 3 from both sides. R equals negative 8. And I can subtract 3 from both sides. R equals positive 2. Your third problem has to do with the length and width of a rectangle. So I'm going to draw the rectangle. It says that the length of the rectangle is 2 centimeters less than its width. So I'm going to let x equal the width, because that's the first part we don't know, and then the length is 2 centimeters less than that. Well, less than that, I would take away 2 from it. There's my length, x minus 2. The area is 35, find the width. Area equals length times width, so 35 is the area, and I can substitute in my width and my length. Commutative property allows me to switch that order, and then distribute. 35 equals x squared minus 2x. And since I have x to the first power and x to the second power, I need to solve this by factoring. So I'm going to get it equal to 0. Equals x squared minus 2x minus 35. And that means I need to find two numbers that multiply to be negative 35 that add up to negative 2. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So I've got 1 and negative 35. And then, let's see, is 35 divisible by 2? No. Is 35 divisible by 3? No. Is 35 divisible by 4? No. By 5? Yes. 5. And I'm using negative 7 because it's a negative product and a negative sum. Those add up to negative 2. So that means that I have x plus 5 times x minus 7 equals 0. So x is negative 5 and x is 7. I have to come back up here to my let statements. That means the width could either be -5 or +7. It doesn't make sense for a width to be a negative unit. You can't have a -5 in width. So I would have 7, and then 7 minus 2 would be 5. So it's a 7 by 5 rectangle. All right, on the back, number 4, the ratio of length to width measured in inches in a rectangle is 4 to 7. Find the length of the rectangle if the area is 700. So that means I have a rectangle. It's 4 by 7, so 4x and 7x would represent the length and the width. The area is 700. Area we know is length times width, so 700 equals 4x times 7x. Well, when I multiply that together, I get 28x squared. Because I only have x to the second power, it's a single term variable equation. I can divide by 28. And that means x squared is 700 divided by 28. I'm just grabbing my calculator, is 25. Take the square root. X is plus or minus 5. Does it make sense to have a negative dimension? No. So I'm just going to use the positive version. 4 times 5 is 20. 7 times 5 is 35. So it's a 20 by 35 rectangle. And then our last one, find two consecutive even integers whose product is 80. Two consecutive even integers, so I'm going to have my first consecutive even integer and my second consecutive even integer. That's what we're looking for. X will represent the first one. If they're even integers, then I'm skip counting by 2's to get to the next one. So x and x plus 2. So there's my let statements. Product means to multiply, so x times x plus 2 equals 80. Distribute. X squared plus 2x equals 80. I have two terms here, so I have to factor to solve. I subtract 80 so I can get this equal to 0. And then now I find two numbers that multiply to be -80 that add up to 2. 1 and 80, and it's a negative product, so I have opposite signs. The bigger number is positive, so the smaller one is the negative. 1 and 80, -2 and 40. Is it divisible by 3? 80 divided by 3, no. Is it divisible by 4? Yes. 4, so -4 and 20. Is it divisible by 5? Yes. 5 and 16. Is it divisible by 6? No. By 7? No. By 8? Yes. 8 and 10. So -8 and +10, and those are my two that add up to 2. So now I've got my factors. X minus 8 times x plus 10, equals 0. So that means x is 8, or x is -10. Now, it's fine to have a negative here because they're just consecutive even integers. So that means that my first consecutive even integer could be 8, so my second one would be 10, or my first one could be -10, and -10 plus 2 would be -8. So those could be my two consecutive pairs of even integers, -10, -8, or 8 and 10. All right, so that got you through your homework. Hopefully you did that, and you are now done with that assignment. Thanks.